He also did the
Hello, my name is
subpoenas.
Harry
These are the guys
Tambuato,
that
and,
backed him up.
The regional executive director.
Did the ocular inspection.
Ano yung mga pangalan yung bubulgar namin sa mga kalokohan ng mga tao sa gobyerno, mas lalo na dito sa DNR, dito sa lugar nito. Sabi ko, alika, attorney, clear mo muna kung sino yung bubulgar natin dito kasi masisira ang mga kabuhayan nito mga tao nito. Are you ready? Should I keep quiet about the names, attorney?
Is the one that won't give us a map.
I
Hi.
do not,
Okay,
perhaps,
I'll show you who they are. This is the one that ruled against us in Quezon
I will
City.
look at the,
This one did the
excuse me.
ocular inspections.
Are we already
this was
in, ano? Okay.
his sidekick in that. He also did the
All right,
subpoenas
here
we
we go.
didn't go to. And everything.
Well, here's some names.
or we can just mention their positions.
Okay,
And,
a certain attorney, acting assistant secretary for legal services. This was in Quezon City,
Before,
in June 22. Okay, just say it. His name's Attorney Abungan.
Abungan, yes.
Aselmo. And then, let's call this guy because it says ocular inspection. Maybe we'll call him magical inspection. Rolando P. Simafranca, CENR officer with a certain Protasio Arsenio Jr., ang land investigator. Ano ito, mga korap dito sa DENR? Ito ba mga korap na tauhan? May tatlo pa ditong pangalan. Iiwan ko na muna. Ikaw, attorney,
Well,
where is this case going? Sige,
we have a saying, we lawyers have a saying, res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself. While we cannot exactly pinpoint that corruption is going on, by the nature of their decisions, let the people judge if indeed there is corruption. Because these are decisions rendered that are...
When you say let the people judge, are you talking the tyranny of the masses or are you talking let the court judge? Specific, let the court judge.
Unfortunately, these cases have... this is an administrative case that has been decided. It's not before the courts. In fact, we have argued that the regional executive director does not have any jurisdiction over the case.
And yet,
The facts are undisputed that the free patent and titles of Mrs. Witter were issued in 2004. Halos Hos filed this petition for cancellation in 2006. And the regional executive director rendered a decision granting the petition of Halos Hos in 2010. But the rule is very clear that once a free patent has been issued and the corresponding certificates of title have been issued, the property ceases to be property of the public domain. They are now private property,
of the Witters.
where the regional executive director no longer has any control or jurisdiction. And any action to annul the title can only be done within 1 year. It's very clear that the 1 year
5 years,
period, the 1 year period has already elapsed.
yeah, with 2426.
So it is most strange that people who are learned in the law, lawyers in the DNR, would make a patently illegal decision that is contrary to the rules.
So, corruption.
In other words, the DNR, the Regional Executive Director, should not have taken cognizance of the case. He should have summarily dismissed the case over which he has no jurisdiction whatsoever. But most unfortunately, when we appealed this to the office of the Secretary of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, this Assistant Secretary Abungan, who knows the law, who knows jurisprudence, affirmed the patently and illegal decision of the Regional Executive Director. And what is most glaring in the decision of the office of the DNR Secretary, through Assistant Secretary Abungan is it gave credence to an investigation report by one person you mentioned, Patrocino Arsenio, which was discredited by responsible officers of the DNR in the persons of PENR Officer Tubalia and Regional Executive Director Adobo, who questioned and set aside the report of this Arseno, holding that it violated the right of the waiters to due process.
What does that tell you?
This shows that this, sad to say, this acting Assistant Secretary Abungan rendered a decision by authority of the Secretary in utter dereliction of duty without making a serious study of the case, notwithstanding the fact that it was submitted for resolution way back in December 2014. So this Assistant Secretary Abungan gave credence to an investigation report which has been discredited and set aside by other responsible officers of the DENR. So this shows that not everyone in the DENR are corrupt. There are persons like
Baka naman he
PNR
doesn't
Tubalia.
understand it. Hindi kaya he doesn't understand it. Or it's too blatant.
I don't think so, because the error is so patent and so blatant. We cannot, who knows whether there is corruption in the DENR? Because, of course, corruption is not done in broad daylight. But as I have said, res ipsa loquitur, the thing speaks for itself. A very blatant and patent decision that is contrary to law, contrary to jurisprudence. And this is what we are elevating to the office of the President. A grave injustice has been committed against the waiters by this patently illegal decision. And it is our hope that the office of the President will see the patent illegality of the decision of the office of the DENR Secretary and reverse it and render a decision dismissing the petition for cancellation of Haloshos.
Bakit office ng President, hindi diretso sa main office ng DENR?
We have gone through that already.
And that didn't work?
This is the principle of exhaustion of administrative remedies. Of course, the last option of the waiters is to go to court. The petition of Haloshos was filed before the office of the regional executive, the director of the DNR. The decision of the regional executive of the DNR is appealable to the office of the secretary of the DNR.
Correct.
And since a decision was
rendered,
that is the administrative procedure on the matter. That the decision has to be appealed with the office of the DENR secretary. And after
and you've exhausted that, it's gone.
We are exhausting these administrative remedies since an adverse decision was rendered. Considering that the office of the DENR secretary has affirmed the decision, the patently illegal decision of the regional executive director granting the petition of Haloshos to cancel the free patent of the waiters, we now exhaust it, and we are now in the office of the President.
Of which he will remand it back to the DENR?
No more. That is the last step in the administrative procedure.
And what if the President says, no, I don't care about your case, you're only an American. You're not Filipino, and besides, you're not rich unless you're as rich as the Holosos. Who cares? What happens if that's the situation?
Of course,
this is election year. I want the Liberal Party to win. Unless you have any contribution kasi hoda ka. Parang ganon.
Well, the Office of the President has to render a decision on the appeal.
Well, they're entertaining us
The
so
rules
far.
require that after filing an appeal to the Office of the President,
Yes.
the appellee, halos-hos, has to file a comment on the appeal memorandum that the Witters filed with the Office of the President. To this very late date, despite the lapse of 15 days, halos-hos has never filed any comment
Nothing.
on the
So he loses his
appeal.
right. He loses his
And
right in court. He's in court.
He is deemed to have waived his right
Correct.
to file a comment, and the appeal is now deemed submitted for resolution. But we have to be, I have certain fears. Because when the Witters filed their appeal to the Office of the Secretary of the DENR, halos-hos also did not file any answer to the appeal. He did not file any required draft decision, and still, the Office of the DNR Secretary rendered a decision in his favor. Ordinarily, if you do not contest, if you do not dispute
You lose
the allegations,
Yes.
it is...
You lose your rights.
You do not only lose your right, you are deemed to have admitted those allegations.
Yes, that's to my understanding as well. But what happens is, since you've exhausted all of this, and now you write the president himself and you bring it out, and there's still no action. What does this tell us?
Now, of course, I will be filing a motion for early resolution, praying that, considering that halos-hos has not filed any comment, his right to do so is deemed waived, and the appeal is now deemed submitted for resolution. But we know for a fact that cases take long with people who are duty-bound to render decisions, doing nothing about it. So this is the situation we're in. When decisions are to be rendered and yet no decisions are made. So that is the dilemma, the situation, the very unfortunate situation that the Witters are in. We can file a motion for early resolution. We can ask the Office of the President to deem halos-hos as having waived his right to file any comment, to consider the case already submitted for resolution, but we do not know if after filing that motion for early resolution, the Office of the President will already act on that motion. I was told by Mr. Witter that until this very late date, the Office of the President has not yet assigned a lawyer to someone who will have to resolve this appeal.
And I was told 6 months to a year or whatever was, they're pretty slow. This one in the DNR, I was here with this case last December, and it took a long time, even with me going up here all the time, bothering them on a regular basis.
Consider that halos-hos
with
filed
lots
his...
and lots of
My
paperwork
heart
thrown at
bleeds
them.
for you, Steve. I'm not sure I know what recommendations to make. Ladies and gentlemen, just to make it clear for you, Steve Witter here, being an American, has written a personal letter straight to his embassy, the U.S. Embassy, because he fears for his life. It seems there are certain oligarchs here in this country who are very strong, who don't care about the rule of law. In this specific case, he seems to have a lot of partners in crime, be it the DNR or even specifically the Office of the President, because indecision and delay is actually another form of what you call corruption and admission to the fact that, yes, Witter does have a problem. Now, in the event that this man is kidnapped and or assassinated, I guess it'll be up to the U.S. Embassy, should they even care about their nationals, to try and go after the oligarchs and the powers that be that do what we call indecision. Then again, this concept of indecision is becoming what we call a cultural problem within our legal system. In this case, it's not yet even legal because this is in the executive, this only involves the executive department. You're not even under the courts yet, the judiciary.
We have, of course, that will be the next step. If
Oh
the
my
office
God,
of the
if you're going
president-
to- if
if
you're
the
going to
office of the president
Does not do anything.
or dismisses the appeal,
Ano ka, RTC?
no, perhaps the Court of Appeals.
Oh my
go to the
God.
Court of Appeals.
The Court of Appeals
And
will
we
only
will-
take you, let's say, 10 years. And then finally the Supreme Court, so another 50 years.
Never lived long enough to.
Yep.
Take note that Halos
I'm
Hospital.
being very sarcastic, but then again, I hope Mr. Brillantes, Attorney Brillantes doesn't take this against
It
me.
took
But
you
really,
years.
jurisprudence, I mean, really, the system in this country, it's amazing. It only takes 100 years for any resolution, it seems.
Well, it costs a lot of
And,
money
and
when they
it's,
procrastinate like this. You have to fly back up here. You have hotels and food.
Yes,
You gotta
yes. It costs a lot.
hire a lawyer to run
No,
do some
I-
more paper, on and on and on.
I have some
years and
cases.
years,
I have
yeah.
some cases I'm fighting out
Yes.
in Pangasinan, in some land with relatives. It's only taken 5 years, and I'm told this is nothing. Maybe I should wait another 60 years.
Well, this problem started 2006.
You're already 10
they-
years, 11 years, a decade passed.
They finally, 2010, they decided that they
Consider.
would, they did a decision against us in Pagadian in favor of Hilosos's petition. Now, 2015, it was reaffirmed by Quezon City. Now it's in the office of
So
the
are you going to
president.
court?
Well, we hope that there is an urgency that the office of the president
We can resolve this.
will resolve this, considering what Mr. Witter has disclosed in this program.
But the president
he's
is too
pre-
busy
he-
campaigning now, attorney. We all know that the president is now a lame duck president. We already have the elections ongoing.
But we have
Yes.
to hope that his support group there has got something else to do.
Lawyers in Malacanang can do the job on behalf of the president. So perhaps our appeal is, according to Mr. Witter, to this very late date, the office of the president has not yet assigned a lawyer.
As long as it happens before,
to look
after
into
the
that
election, right?
appeal. So our appeal now to the office of the president is to already act on the appeal by deeming it submitted for resolution and assign someone to
Or
decide
you
on
go
it.
to the appeals court, straight to the Court of Appeals.
But we have to go through the process and exhaust all administrative remedies. The office of the president has to decide on the appeal first before we can go to the courts. And it's
Can this
very
happen
sad.
in America, Steve?
No, nobody steals land in America. It's too hard to steal. Yeah, it just
This won't happen. It's
there's
unimaginable.
there's no mechanism by which you can steal land. Like in 2006, Hilosos's people went into their deeds and records and went through all of them and started all this stuff while he was still in prison. And a lot of people in Dapitan had problems like this. And
You mean you're not the only one who's into a situation like this?
no.
You would imagine a number of
And
you.
there's other people that were run off their property because they had a really good, strong private army at that time. So with the help of the DNR, certain key figures, it was easy to take over. What was it? The 7 million square meter foreshore and all kinds of stuff with
Whoa,
no
that's a
objections
lot.
or something. Yeah. And what happens is it becomes the DNR. It becomes a situation where they're investigating themselves, you know. And people, if you really think about it, the DNR controls timber rights, mining rights, road right-of-ways, white sand beaches, fishing, all these resources. You know, so it's probably, there's a lot of money involved, a whole lot of money. It's not all just, you know, trees and flowers or something. All the public lands. I mean, there's a lot of room for corruption, and if all you do is investigate yourself, you're not really accountable
course
to
not.
anybody.
Well,
Yeah.
you spoke of the president being busy with the electoral campaign, but perhaps this is the right time to bring the case of the Witters to media so that the president and the Liberal Party can prove that indeed they're pursuing the straight path. They're
Who are they going
pursuing the
for?
daang matuwid.
Who is Halosos rooting for? Which president? Boy, it should hurt this
He
presidency.
switched.
Grace Poe.
He's
Grace
switched
Poe! Oh my
sides.
gosh!
He switched sides to Grace Poe now.
If
That
it's Grace
means
Poe, how sad for Grace Poe that you got this guy under you. An
Yeah.
oligarch that takes advantage of people. Kahiya-hiya!
yeah.
He was present when Grace Poe and Jesus Cordero
I think we should send this TV interview straight to Grace Poe's office in the Senate so that they can view it for themselves, so they know the kind of people that are supporting them on the ground. We're going to have to end the show. It's been an hour, and it's very tiring to hear of a situation that ends up with just frustration when there's no resolution, and the ineptness of certain government people continue to sustain a system which I can't seem to find any other word but the word corruption. It seems the DNR is shameful. It's really shameful, and the people behind there, it's extremely shameful. I mean, I guess what they have is they got money that they must have gotten from Malosos or whoever and plastered all over their skin. Because they're so thick-faced, it don't really matter because everything's about money that is not theirs, that they can get out of the other people. A very short message from you, Steve, to the viewers who will watch this and cringe with frustration because of your experience. Short words to our viewer.
Well, I'm kind of at a loss for words, really.
Attorney?
Well, corruption does not show in broad daylight. But as I have said, res ipsa loquitur, the thing speaks for itself. How can we explain the DNR up to the office of the DNR Secretary making a patently and grossly illegal decision, which is a grave injustice to the Witters? And it's very sad because the Witters have poured millions of pesos in that beach resort, which could have employed Filipinos and which could have developed the Philippine economy, no? Well, I believe this is a challenge to the president, to the Liberal Party. If indeed it is pursuing the straight path, if indeed it is pursuing the daang matuwid, then we appeal to the president and the Liberal Party to show that it is indeed the case by once and for all deciding and resolving the appeal of the Witters, which is now with the office of the president.
Well, I think it's good. One thing, they are entertaining our case, so, you know, that's positive. It's kind of, it's the one thing, we'll see how it turns out.
Ladies and gentlemen, kayo po ang maghusga. Alam mo, daan matuwid o daan matuwad. Ito, attention po kay Secretary Pahe. Wala na, lumampas na po sa inyo. Wala na kayong magagawa. Ito na po, attention na lang po sa Presidente. Pero nakakainis lang pag ito kasi nababasa natin. Ang isang tao na naiisahan ng kababayan natin, mas lalo ng gobyerno natin, miski hindi tayo apektado, hindi maganda pag titingin lang tayo sa kabila o sa kung saan-saan man. Mas maigi sana lahat pakialaman para alamin kung anong klase, tama nga sabi ni Attorney Severo Brillantes. Ang tawag po dyan, kung halatang halata na, daan matuwid ba po yan? Kayo po maghusga. Ako, nakaiinis lang ako kasi ilang kaya taong kababayan natin, mga iba-ibang nasyonalidad pumunta na sa Maynila. Kasi lalo na mga nangasawa na dito, may mga ari-arihan na dito, tapos babastusin lang natin. Parang ganun lang po yun. we need to judge. Now, the time of judging is coming, and don't be driven by these surveys. Don't be driven by only what you know. Learn of these experiences, and as far as the camp of Jesus Cordero and Grace Po, beware of those that latch onto you. Baka these are the ones with cancers that are already so bad, the minute they touch you, they will infect you. And as far as the people who believe in that, who believe that these people, if you keep them there, even you will catch the cancer. Maraming salamat po. I hope you've enjoyed our program. Then again, there's nothing really to be happy about. The frustration continues. Salamat po.
Yes, sir.
Attorney, we just wait for a while because the camera. You are what you watch.